Modern Western life is just slave-maxing. Modern Western life, especially under the corporate capitalist model, is only designed for one purpose, and that is to keep the great majority of humans under its influence into a permanent serf slave class for technocratic, oligarchic, corporate elite. The very essence of having to chase monetary wealth to obtain some level of liberty is part of the rat race that everybody is competing for, a meager slice of a life that is well-to-do. You get your home, your family, reproduce. These are the goals that society are told are the dream to achieve. All the while, the elites build rockets, are working on life extension technologies. They are dominating industries with robotics and artificial intelligence. See, they themselves are not okay with just living a quiet life out in the wilderness or in the countryside. No, they have ambitions to rule and to dominate and to expand. And the point here is that it's glory for them and none for thee. The essence of this is that most people are supposed to be good cattle, good consumers, good produce, one could say, for the elites. We are nothing more than a resource to them, and most of our lives have been relegated to the position of a workhorse, or one could say, machine or cog in the machine that is only designed to sustain the system for the benefit of elites. And that is why I say modern life is like slave-maxing. We've been slave-maxed into this docile civilian, as we are told, because our ancestors were fearsome. Our ancestors desired freedom. Our ancestors were unapologetic. Our ancestors conquered lands, made their tribes. They dwelt as a people with a culture, a tongue, with no one lording over them. Money was not an obstacle. Money was not this system of control that it is today. They were truly free to live as human beings on this earth. And now, with the advent of such a great civilization, modern Western civilization, there are rules and regulations that become further hindrance and obstacles to mankind. Take, for example, the car, the automobile, and the invention of roads. The invention of the automobile made roads a necessity, and therefore laws were placed to claim land for roads, laws that dictate how one should conduct themselves in terms of travel. So as technology and, you could say, capitalism grew and people expanded in modern Western civilization, they became more constricted. The less freedom, the more order arose, the less freedom they had. And we see that more and more today as more technology is invented, as cities get bigger, as civilization triples, quadruples in size exponentially, population booms. There are more restrictions, regulations, and codes that dictate where one can build, where one can settle. No one owns their land anymore. No one truly is free. There are municipal codes that state what you can build on your land, what zone you have to conduct your operations in, one could say. Permitting, for example, permits to be approved, to be able to do as you please on your own land. And at least in America, no one really owns their own land. Everyone is simply a steward. The government owns the land, and you have a piece of paper that says you're a steward of the land on behalf of the United States government. The idea of being sovereign doesn't exist anymore. No one is sovereign. Everyone exists under a system of elites, of kings, of rulers, of nations, of ideologies, of national cults that from the day one is born, they become almost serialized with a social security number. You get branded like cattle, and you get put through the system to be a good slave, to be a good consumer, to be a good producer. And that is why modern Western life is essentially slave-maxing. And when you break away from that, if you're able to, you are gaining freedom for yourself, but you become a threat to the system. You become ostracized. You become cut off, as money has become the very focus of everyone's life. Back in the day, it used to be you would hunt, you would gather, you would farm, you would build your shelter. Your family and your tribe and your people would live off the land. You would forge your weapons, forge your steel, build your own means of production, and you would own your own land. You were free. Thousands of years ago, that is, of course, until feudalism arrived, which only made things much worse, leading to what we have today. Many people long for that kind of life, where they could return to the land, be one with the land, to have their own people. But in many cases, we are very far from that point. It's just food for thought.